Welcome back to Liquid Lunch, and we're here with Gabriela. Vilar is here. Welcome back to the station. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay, so Stella's, of course, not here. It is. Yeah. Oh, she did. She locked herself out. So now she's coming back. But anyway, you're here today. What were we talking about the last time you were here? Just to refresh my mind.
We talk about anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said I'm going to bring my biofeedback, so I still owe you that one. So I'm going to come for the biofeedback.
Yes, okay, good. So that's great. So, but today we're talking about emotional freedom techniques.
Yes.
I understand it's plural. Some people say emotional freedom technique.
Technique.
But you're saying techniques.
No, technique. Yeah, it's just one. I
Okay.
mean, it could be. I mean, you can do it in different ways, but the overall is one technique.
Okay, great. Stella.
I'm hooked.
Stella's rustling her microphone.
I locked myself out of the building. I had to go downstairs, tell the air conditioning guys not to look up
Okay.
my dress while I was going down the fire escape.
Let's hear about that later, because we're interviewing a guest right now, Stella. We've got.
Sorry. So you have techniques. Now, Hugh said something when we were introducing the guest at the beginning of the show that one of the techniques is tapping.
Yeah.
Now, how does that work?
Okay, let me give you a little bit of background before, and then I'll get into the how. Okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, because it's if you don't get a little of background, it can sound kind of like silly and out there. It's like what are
No,
we
I've heard about it
doing?
before, but
Yeah, but for people that are kind of new to that, it's like, what is all this tapping about?
and it's not this kind of tapping when you're nervous.
No, definitely not. that's not really relaxing.
No, it's not. It's like more nerves.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, what it is actually it's a combination of Eastern and Western approaches to health, and I found that fascinating and overall very useful.
Now, you went to Eastern traditions and Eastern religion first.
No religion, no. I'm
No?
not talking about religion here, but it's just the approach to health, right? So basically, for the Chinese, for instance, for the Chinese medicine, we have this energy going through the meridian points in our body.
Our chakras?
Right? Yeah, chakras is one of the ways to put it, but those are limited. But the meridian points are like more than 300. It's actually, there's a lot of them, and they're all over your body. Right.
And isn't that what acupuncturists use, the meridian point?
Exactly, that's where I was going. So basically for, in acupuncture, what they do is actually they put the needle to allow the energy to flow, because if the person is not well, it's supposed to be, it's because the energy is blocked. So what I do is actually, I use all my knowledge from counseling psychology that I have, and I use the EFT technique to combine it and
EFT?
Yeah.
What's the...
EFT is emotional freedom technique or tapping.
Tapping.
It's the base, yeah.
Okay,
it's basically the same thing.
Now this thing, tapping, I've seen it in action.
Yeah.
Right? And it seems unbelievable that just doing this tapping, and you can show us in
Exactly.
a moment what
Yeah.
it looks like, but
Yeah.
it's hard to believe that this has the kind of effect that you're going to tell us that it does. Because
Yeah.
what does it mean? What
Exactly.
can it do for us? What can EFT do?
Well, I use it, well, that's the thing. One, if you want to do it on your own, is one thing. If you want to do it with a practitioner, it's a different story.
Is it
right?
better to get it done by a...
No, it's not about better. It's about the thing is you can get into things that are deeper and more complicated if you're with a practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
If you are just annoyed by some situation on the street or at home and you can do it and it's not a big deal, that's something that anyone can do and I would encourage to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have a trauma and you have something very serious that happened and you're not comfortable working on that on your own, then that's when I suggest to go to a practitioner because it can be scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was explaining a little bit of the background. Why is it that it works? It's because you're basically touching, like she was saying, like in acupuncture, you're touching on these meridian points, and when we are actually tapping more than touching,
You're
And,
tapping into that energy.
exactly. So what you do is you connect that, and the whatever energy is connected to the fear, the anger, the anxiety, or whatever it is that is going on, the sadness, right? So you connect to the feeling as much as possible. And when you connect to the feeling in whatever way you can, and we can talk about that, you tap.
Let's
and
do it right
while
now.
you're tapping, you are releasing it.
Okay, so how do
Let's
we do it?
release
How do we
some
get
stuff.
started?
Yeah, Stella's
Okay.
got a lot of releasing to do.
Yes.
I mean, let's get started ASAP.
Why do I
Sure.
have releasing to do? I think you have more releasing to do than I do.
Oh, you do you?
Yes, well,
let's-
I had some release this morning, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make it very simple, something that anyone can do, right? And really you don't need a lot of thinking, is basically telling the story of whatever is annoying, right? Like something happened and you're stressed out or angry at somebody or sad for whatever reason, right?
Does it help
So
you
you
get
tell
in
the story.
touch with your feelings to know what you're angry or sad about? So that even if you don't know what's going on, you start the tapping, you
Yeah.
can sort of connect more so that you know what it is you're angry about. Because
Probably-
sometimes we're angry, we don't know why.
Exactly. Probably
think
when
I
you
know
start
why.
tapping, probably when you start tapping and you don't know what it is, you just tap, and but you tap about the anger, let's say, and probably something's gonna start coming up in your head.
Can we
Yes.
do it right now?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, oops. There's
Here.
a few ways to start. You start always with the setup statement, right?
Setup statement.
The setup statement usually is
Like this?
there's a few ways to do it. The traditional typical one is even though I have this blank, whatever it is, this sadness, this anger, what do we want to work on? Say now.
I'd like to work on an issue I have.
Anger or sadness or
Actually,
fear,
it's sad.
frustration, sadness. But okay, what if you start crying? You're okay with that?
I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
I've cried on, no, I haven't cried on the show, but I do get in touch with my feelings.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start steering the pot. So if you're gonna get
Go ahead.
emotional, I don't.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I won't freak out on you. Go ahead.
No. I'm just telling you. For me, it's fine. It's just because you're the one in camera too.
That's all right. I don't mind.
Cool. So even though, so you want to tell me the story a little bit, or you just
It has to do with close relation, and she's disconnected from me, thus disconnecting my connection to my granddaughter.
yeah, that is a little heavy. Okay, are you sure you want to do that now?
Yeah, let's do it because I want to get it out.
How long is this going to take?
I don't know.
I'm
How
looking at the
quickly?
clock here. I got some timing issues going on, Gabriella.
I mean,
Seriously.
it's really up to you. If you want to just have an example that is easier, it's up to you. I don't mind.
How about an easy example? Let's
Okay.
get started on
Let's
that.
just do a quick demonstration.
Yeah.
And then you guys can, because I think Stella, it needs a team of people working on her around the clock. And
Oh, really?
We don't have time for that on today's show.
Do you know what, Hugh?
Yes, Stella.
Who is the one who actually received the blessing when Kiernan was here that I felt the river going through me? It wasn't you, and you wanted to. You didn't experience it. I did. So who's more open?
Well,
Duh.
you obviously are much more.
I am more open and susceptible. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's make up an example, an easy example, right? So the typical one would be like, I don't know, upset about something that happened, like mad, or something did something to you, or you're
Yeah.
upset about it.
Yeah.
Something like that we can do, right?
Yeah.
So, as I said, we start with the setup statement here on the side, and you say, even though I have this sadness or this anger or this disappointment, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now, the deeply and completely love and accept myself is not a statement that everyone resonates with for whatever reason, right?
I do.
Yeah. But not everyone. Like some people is like, what are we saying this? Like I don't feel comfortable
Because
saying
a
this.
lot of people actually feel guilty about self-love.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest love, I think, in the world is self-love, because you have to love
course.
yourself first in order to attract
Definitely.
the love back.
Yes.